where the leader of the country's Conservative Party, Kemi Badenock, has yet again denigrated Nigeria, saying that Nigeria destroys lives and that she does not want the consequences of the country's terrible government to play out in Britain. Badenock spoke last Thursday while delivering her first speech of the year.
I grew up in a poor country, and I watched my relatively wealthy family become poorer and poorer and poorer, despite working harder and harder as their money disappeared with inflation. I came back to the UK, age 16, with my father's last £100 in the hope of a better life. So I have lived with the consequences of terrible governments that destroy lives, and I never, ever want that to happen here.
Of course, this will garner reactions. Ayo, let me take them before I come to you. This is from Adewale, who wrote, "Dear Kemi, we have moved past you. Your relentless efforts at demarketing the country of your ancestry has yielded big fruits. Ask about Dirty December in Lagos this Yuletide season. You'll get your answer." Well, another Twitter user, Biomed, wrote, "Is she saying the truth? Yes, she is. But is she meddling in Nigerian affairs? Yes. She needs to focus more on the problems of the British people. She can't keep poking Nigeria unprovoked. She forgot the British government policy keeps Nigeria poorer and poorer and poorer because of the benefits they got from Nigeria and its citizens." Ayo, your comment on Kemi Badenock.
I've expressed myself a number of times how I feel about what Kemi Badenock says. Leader of the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom, the first black woman to occupy such a position, and a woman who happens to be from Nigeria in terms of her origin. This was her first speech this year, 2025, at Onward, a British think tank group. And she was using her personal experience to buttress a point.
As always.
About how, as always, about how it was important to not allow a government to destroy lives or make people poorer. As the first tweet or the second tweet said, was she telling the truth? To some extent. You know, the challenge about conversations or speeches like this is that there's an element of truth, even though it's also hyperbolic. There's an exaggeration there as well. She said she left Nigeria with, and her dad with the last £100. I mean, that has to be, there's a big question mark.
That was what got me, really.
Question mark there. I think one thing that Kemi must understand is that you can actually deliver your speeches, talk about the progress you want to make without denigrating your country. A lot of, Rishi Sunak never had to do that with India. And we know that India and Nigeria have similar challenges, even though they seem to be working out there as a bit better. Why it appeals to sensibilities of some Nigerians is because it speaks to their realities even till today. The truth is that today, some policies have impoverished some Nigerians, and so they're feeling they can connect with what she's saying. However, in terms of diplomacy, it doesn't even look good for the United Kingdom. We have enjoyed a cordial relationship with the nation for so many years.
Yes.
And so to begin to speak, even though it's from personal experience, is quite sad. But unfortunately or fortunately, she's entitled to her opinion. But I think that it's time we stop giving her, this attention, because it looks like she's feeding from it, she loves it, and it's giving her that leverage. You heard the applause after she said that.
Yes.
It is cheap publicity. It's an easy way for her to appeal to the British public, at least those who already think this way about Nigeria.
Well, she's absolutely using that her platform in the way that she feels, some people have applauded her, saying that she needs to speak for Nigeria. I mean, we're talking about Nigeria getting poorer with, some low-income earners, the policies and all of that, inflation and the interest rates getting higher. A quick comment, but because I wanted to tie these two together.
Auntie Jemima Badenock. I think she has said enough about Nigeria. Her ambition is to become Prime Minister of Great Britain. She's already, leader of the Conservative Party. She says she's looking for reform.
Yes.
So that Britain doesn't become Nigeria. Fine, we have heard. But if she's talking about reform, let her start with the party that she leads. That's the more urgent assignment that is before her. Because the Conservative Party, in the last poll conducted by YouGov, is slipping behind Reform UK. Yes. Reform UK, Nigel Farage's Reform UK, has already overtaken the Conservatives. Nigel Farage has gained about 15% since the last election. The Conservative Party has gone down by about 10%. So she should be more interested in positioning our party, because that is the primary assignment that she has been given.
Well said.
Whether she left Nigeria with 100 pounds or not, who cares? Yeah. Some people left Nigeria to relocate to Britain with a small bag of gari and a bottle of granite bought by the roadside, so that at least when they get to London, they will have something to eat. She's even lucky. She has 100 pounds, and from 100 pounds now she's eating steak every lunch hour. She's spending about 25 pounds having steak.
Well said, Dr. Abati.
Good for her.
Good for her. Well, talking about policies that have impoverished Nigeria.